This is gonna be a weird little video. I'm on the phone. I was just sitting here chilling, thinking, and I'm thinking to myself, on my past relationships and shit. Because I feel like even if you're aromantic or you're asexual, or as I was saying before, it can be very easy to get lonely. Even if you're not trying to, it can just happen, and you start to think about what your previous relationships were like, even if it's been a while or if it's not, and then you start thinking like, what were the lessons you learned in those relationships. And I think when you go back to it, it's, for me, it's learning how to love in general. And I think love is jaded for people who have trauma, because they think of love as in a way of distant. Somebody's definition of love that is not correct, and then somebody else teaching them how to love is not the correct way to love. Love is learning how to love from yourself, from an individual standpoint, and loving yourself. Once you love thyself, you may love others, and not until then will you ever love anyone else. You can only fully love someone else when you love yourself fully. Because if you love yourself fully and you get in a relationship and someone says something to hurt you, a fully secure person would not even take that, and it wouldn't even hurt them. It would deflect right off them. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even matter, because it's just doesn't. You love yourself. You don't care what other people think about you. No matter if it's the most important person to you in the world. And two people who fully love themselves only want the best for each other and want to make themselves rise and live their best lives together. And that's the only thing they would ever want for each other, is the best. So, obviously, in hindsight, you don't know that when you first start dating, or when you're young, or when you're adolescent, or whenever, if you're just getting into your first relationship and you're older, or even if you just didn't. It took you a long time to learn, but once you learn that lesson, it really does become easier. Then you kind of get to this point where you're doing so good though on yourself with your shadow work, you don't even want to fucking date anybody, because you're sitting here like, I'm doing so good and I'm been healing so much. Like, why do I even want to risk fucking hurting myself again? And I feel like we all have energy connections. So like, if you be with somebody sexually or like energetically so hard for so long, I feel like that energy can't really be replaced, and I feel like it stays with you a little bit. Like, even if you cleanse out all of it, and I feel like you can completely cleanse it after a long time, after enough time has passed, for sure. But I feel like energy just is always alive, and you always have just even like a little remnants of that energy. I feel like that energy can make it hard, because the more that energy builds up and stuff like that, the harder it is to make genuine connections, because you already have all these genuine connections, and it's like, it just feels fraud, because they were just lies. Basically, my point is, you need to fully love yourself before you can love anybody else to the fullest, let alone even a little bit. And that's just the facts, because your definition of love changes when you love yourself to the fullest. So that's just my message of the day, and I want to know what anybody else's thoughts on this. Yeah, very deep subject, but I think about this a lot. I don't know. I feel like my energy is very sacred to me and very important, so I'm very protective about who I would give it to and my thing. And then like, I've just been, I don't know. We've all been through shit relationship wise, I'm sure, but it does make you, because I feel like that's like a really big way the universe sends you lessons, is through relationships, always. But yeah, we're all growing and you're doing amazing. And even if you have no romantic partners, still, solitude is one of the biggest, and having that moment for yourself, even if you define it as loneliness, that time is growth time. It's time for you to grow, and the universe is giving you space you can grow to your fullest, so that when the right person comes along, you'll actually be ready. You know what I'm saying? So that's food for thought too. Keep that in mind, and stay positive. You're never alone. We're all equal and blessed. But it's not easy, man. We're all reflections of each other. You should never be scared to date. I'm telling myself though, saying you, but you should never be scared to date. You should always just take the risk, because it could be totally worth it. You never know who you're gonna meet. But if you're not ready to date and you don't want to date, you don't have to, because the only person who's ever gonna truly love you like the way you want to be loved is yourself. So stop holding other people's expectations. Stop giving other people expectations that you know that they won't be able to meet, because your standards are so high that that's perfect. That's beautiful, but it's your standard. So nobody's gonna meet your standard of love. Only people are ever gonna meet their standards of love. So you just have to find a common ground and meet in the middle and hope that the universe is always gonna pick two people who either are gonna help them learn lessons about themselves really well, or they're gonna give you something that's gonna make it work 100%. Even if it's like y'all's connection and energy will align to the place where it'll always work out for you. So trust the universe 100%. It always has your back. But that's just my little ramble today. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think of the subject, and if you wanna heal some trauma in the fucking comments below and tell me stories about what y'all have been through, I'll maybe do a story time once in a while soon. I have a lot of relationship story times. I don't really tell them, but if y'all want to hear about them, they're kind of crazy. So yeah, love you. Have a great day. Peace.